A strange accident took the life of a member of Russia's ruling elite. Coincidence? Maybe. Or something is wrong for a fact. And then another person passes away under similar conditions. It's possible to chalk it up to pure coincidence. Fears of enemy action have been stirred, as Auric Goldfinger famously put it to James Bond in the classic spy novel Goldfinger. Yet the body count has been rising rapidly, with 23 deaths occurring in less than a year. What exactly is happening? Is the president of the country involved in it? If so, what is his plan? Let's go into the video to know it all. Since the beginning of 2022, a number of strange deaths of high-ranking politicians or businesses in Russia have happened, sometimes including members of their families, and the circumstances surrounding these deaths have been described by some sources as being dubious. Even though the majority of the fatalities have been linked to misadventures and concern with mental health, the run of inexplicable deaths has grabbed the attention of people all over the world, and there is growing concern that evil forces may be involved. The trail of bloodshed, which began not long before Russian President Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine, has already spread across many time zones and countries. The cause of death has ranged from the seemingly easy strokes and suicides to odd accidents falling downstairs or from a speeding boat to the very weird poisoning from a shaman's toad venom, among other possibilities. The victims range in age from 37 to 73, with the youngest being 37 and the oldest being 73. Feared military leaders, rich oil and gas oligarchs, top business executives, high-ranking government workers, and most recently, a sausage tycoon are some of the people who have been among them. The Netherlands NOS News Network summarized the occurrence as follows on June 3, 2022. A somber string of Russian millionaires, mainly from the oil and gas sectors, has been discovered dead under peculiar circumstances since the beginning of the year. The first incident occurred on January 30th when Leonid Shalman, age 60, the transport chief for the Russian energy giant Gazprom, was discovered dead in the bathtub of his country estate in the Leningrad region. There was a message with his name on it next to his body. The group was referred to as millionaires with direct or indirect relations to the Kremlin, found dead in a mystery scenario since the beginning of the year, in an article published by CNN Portugal on July 6, 2022. It made reference to an investigation that had been conducted in the past by USA Today, which came to the conclusion that 38 Russian businessmen and billionaires linked to the Kremlin died under odd or suspicious circumstances between 2014 and 2017. The phenomenon was given the name Sudden Russian Death Syndrome by The Atlantic magazine in December of 2022. One petrol executive was found hanged in a Spanish villa where his wife and daughter had been butchered to death with an axe. Some of the fatalities have been distinguished by terrible brutality, including the hanging of the petrol executive. The deceased individuals' privileged positions in Russian society and the vast fortunes they earned on their way to the pinnacle of their respective fields of endeavor are the unifying factors in this case. Several of them had strong ties to the Kremlin, while others were vocal opponents of Putin's invasion of Ukraine. On July 9th, an unknown user of the Wikipedia website created a page with the title 2022 Russian Mysterious Deaths. That article started a tally of the number of people who have passed away. Bill Browder, a prominent financier, told ABC in October that it appeared to be an epidemic of murder that was triggered by oligarchs feuding over cash shortages caused by the war. With Putin embroiled as a country's de facto mafia boss, Browder's comments came after Putin was embroiled in the conflict as a country's mafia boss. Several of the friends, family members, and co-workers of the people who passed away have rejected the official explanations that investigators have provided, and they agree with Browder's viewpoint, which is that the fatalities were the result of contract killings. Professor Jeffrey Winters, a political scientist and a specialist in oligarchs who works at Northwestern University in Illinois, pointed out that many of the deceased were billionaires who had access to the best healthcare money can buy. He also noted that these individuals had bodyguards. He stated in interviews with the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age that without exhaustive investigations, the only thing that can be done is speculate as to what caused the deaths of the billionaires, although he described their passings as very rare. They're able to receive the very best medical care. They pay the whole fees out of pocket and don't have health insurance, but they fly to prestigious facilities like the Mayo Clinic to have concierge checkups and treatment, he said. According to Winter, the majority of oligarchs also traveled with an entourage or security detail, making it impossible to eliminate them. According to him, having multiple layers of protection surrounding you is one of the benefits of being a wealthy oligarch. Even if they don't have bodyguards, they definitely have private drivers and personal aides who take care of everything for them. When they stay in hotels, they're typically located at floors that have additional security measures, such as guards stationed at elevators or requiring extra identification to enter. These are not folks who have accidentally fallen off of their rooftops or out of their windows. According to the business executive Winters, the current spate of murders maintain a pattern of mystery poisonings and assassination attempts that have already been in place under Putin for more than a decade. According to him, Saudi Arabia, China, and Russia are the three countries in which oligarchies are at their most precarious. These are the only locations in the world where substantial numbers of oligarchs have been arrested, imprisoned, or have died under mysterious circumstances, the author writes. Stephen Fortescue, an associate professor of political science at the University of New South Wales, specializes in Russia. He stated that the deaths did not necessarily erase any red flags when viewed individually, yet, due to the sheer volume of them, he was unable to rule out the possibility that at least some of them were the product of criminal activity. Fortescue stated that heart attacks, suicide, and jumping off boats are all things that can happen. Russian males are more prone to all of those problems because their lifestyles are so stressful and they drink too much, she said. They're going through a very trying period right now. Thus, when seen as individual cases, they do sound incredible. Yet, with the number of cases spilled, one cannot help but begin to take closer note. He was of the opinion that business disagreements or the fact that the victim was in possession of knowledge that made them a liability to another person were the most likely reasons for homicide. Fortescue wasn't convinced that the fatalities were the result of a coordinated effort from a single source, like Putin, for example. We know Putin and the state aren't shy about using violence and coercion, but the links in these cases aren't especially convincing, he added. We know Putin and the state aren't shy about using violence and coercion. He stated, Putin is a sultanistic oligarch, which implies he's the lead or alpha oligarch in Russia. Putin is a sultanistic oligarch. He possesses the power to make or shatter oligarchs. He's simultaneously the source of protection and danger. According to Winters, Putin needed to find a way to rein in the rest of the country's billionaires since they were incredibly powerful when working together. To go after all of the oligarchs at the same time would put Putin in a precarious position. It's common for sultanistic oligarchy like Putin's to demonstrate their dominance by singling out specific members of the group to use as examples. It serves as a reminder to others who make their bread and who have the potential to bring them down. Oligarchy is a fairly prevalent form that may be found all across the world and over the course of history. When asked for comment on the fatalities by several international media outlets, including CNN, Russia's investigative committee has continually neglected to provide a response. So, that's all for the video today. If you enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to hit the like button. We'll be right back with more and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks for watching.